maybe I've already asked this in other ways, but what do you think has been your greatest impact or your greatest success with Seacoast Outright?
I think that our greatest success is when the youth walks in who is this close to killing themselves, who is abusing drugs and alcohol and engaging in other risky behaviors, and really feels like there's just no hope for them. They're coming in, they're getting beaten up in their schools, and life just feels really, really hard, and really unmanageable and really unbearable. And when that kid walks in the door here, and then 6 months, a year, 2 years later, calls me from college and tells me all excited about their school, the classes that they're taking, that's the biggest success we can have right there. Before I worked here, I worked with a lot of street youth in New York City, and I really wanted to work in an organization that was a preventative measure as opposed to a Band-Aid measure. And Band-Aid measures are very important, but what could I do to prevent youth from ending up on the streets of New York, LA, Atlanta, San Francisco, Chicago, Boston? And that's what we do here. We provide that safe space so that youth at least have a little tiny corner of their world that feels safe to them, and feels like, okay, there are people that care about me, and there are people that love me and think that I'm a great person, even with and because of my sexuality. That's a vital, important part of me, and that contributes to who I am, or my gender, or my gender identification. And when I get a call in the middle of the night on my voicemail, from a kid saying, I was really, really having a hard day yesterday, and I was really seriously thinking of, overdosing, and then I came to group, and, something you said, or something one of the facilitators said, or something one of the other youth said, made me think, oh my God, what am I thinking? That's like the biggest gift that we can get, as a youth-driven organization.
That's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really exciting. It's exciting. It's fulfilling. It's wonderful. I have an open door policy here, so on any given day, I could have 3 or 4 kids just come and want to check their email, or just sit and talk, just to feel like they have somewhere to go is sometimes really vital and important.
Yeah, definitely. And it's more of a lot of people are going to turn to the internet nowadays, and this is more of a one-on-one or group where people can actually interact and talk face-to-face, which is so important.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we have internet stuff too. We have a MySpace, and the kids all talk over the internet and texting and whatever. But we provide a little bit more personal interaction. One of the things that I'm finding is youth, because there's so many alternative forms of communication now, they don't know how to communicate with one another. They don't know how to communicate with one another face to face. They don't know how to engage in conflict because they just text, I'm angry, and then, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you again, and that's it. They don't have to learn, some really basic, important things that are going to be really important for their lives. We give them that opportunity here because, not everybody agrees. Everybody's different. We have all different kinds of kids. We have, rich kids, we have poor kids, we have black kids, white kids, Asian kids, we have genderqueer kids, we have, straight-looking, straight-acting kids, we have preppy kids and goth kids and hippie kids, and, you name it, we've got it. And they all get along. And, on Friday night after group at, 9 o'clock, when I kick them all out, they'll go out to eat together. This motley crew of little queer kids, and young adults go and bug some area restaurant, and get pancakes or whatever. And that's just beautiful to see them be able to work that out and sort of figure out who they are and what are they about, and how do they learn social skills. A lot of my kids don't have social skills because they've been really excluded been called names their whole lives, haven't had a lot of friends, and so, you know, it's an opportunity for them to also learn some really important social skills. Of course, that's not all of my kids, but a number of my kids,
Right.
you know, have to have those things to learn.
You had mentioned before about transgendered kids. Is there like an active transgender community in New Hampshire, or support system?
There is a transgender community here in New Hampshire. It's sort of under the radar, but there's quite a large community actually. There's been lots of things that have tried to be started. Most recently, the New Hampshire TREE, which is New Hampshire Transgender Resources, Education, and Empowerment, and that's a great organization. There's also some groups down in Massachusetts that are more socially oriented. And then we run a group for transgender young adults, youth and young adults out of Outright, Seacoast Outright. So, but, you know, again, it's a conservative state. It's a lot of people are in the closet. Trans folk are in the closet, and you know, it's definitely a difficult thing.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I think but you know, there are a lot of transgender folks that live here, and I have about between 7 and 10 transgender youth that come to our groups.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're a nonprofit, you said?
Yes.
So if people wanted to donate to you, how would they go about doing so?
They can donate on our website, www.seacoastoutright.org. They can send us a check to P.O. Box 842, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, 03802. And those are the two ways most people donate.
Okay, great.
Yeah, to our organization.